Hello again, grandchildren. Here's me and Bella greeting you this gloomy day. James got up this morning and he said, another gloomy day. So that's the weather forecast. Supposed to rain, rain, rain. We've been having so much rain. We sure needed it last summer, but we're getting it now. So y'all tell me I got pink cheeks. You know, all of this is natural. I just use lipstick. That's it. My eyebrows are still black because my hair is black. But I tell you what, I'm glad to see y'all today and talk to you. And I was going to reminisce a little about when we was kids and we went everywhere on Shank's pony. I mean, we caught the school bus. We had to walk about a half mile, or it felt like 2 miles. And that west wind would be blowing on your face, and you was so cold, and we didn't have real good coats. Or I tied a scarf like the Russian women do around my head. Boy, that cat is in on that this morning, isn't she? I see her right there. So we would walk to school, and it was so cold, so, you know, we couldn't wear breeches back then. It was against the rules. But, you know, you could wear them till you got to the schoolroom, and then you had to take them off, put them in your desk, and wait till it was time to go home. You couldn't wear them around all day. That was against the school's rules. Where I went, you had to wear a dress, and I wore a dress with breeches underneath them because you freeze your butt. That's not a bad word. That's our butt. And I froze it, and so did my little sister. I tell you what, she was puny. Now, I was never puny because I would get me something to eat after everybody went to bed. I used to, you know what I used to do? I used to go to the smokehouse and get cracklings, which I told you about. But not only did I do that and bring them to bed and gnaw on them in the bed, but Mama always had a big can of dry oatmeal, and she would make oatmeal for breakfast sometimes. And I would get me some of that dry oatmeal, sprinkle me some sugar in it, and just eat it the way it was. It made my stomach quit hurting, and I wasn't overly heavy either because we had a lot to do, a lot of work. And I remember one time when I snuck away to the two-holer toilet. That's what we had. What you do is you sneak away. They don't know where you're at, and you can go read, which I always wanted to do, go read. So I would sit there and read the Sears and Roebuck catalog if I didn't have anything else. They had some good deals. The only difference, only thing, I didn't have no money. But that's how they ordered our shoes, and whatever we wore to school, that's how we got our clothes. And kids, I had 2 dresses. And you slept in your petticoat, and that's what you wear under your dress. It's called a petticoat, and it's a slip like, and you sleep in your, didn't have no pajamas. What was pajamas? We didn't even know what pajamas was except in the Sears Roebuck catalog. That's how we learn a lot of stuff. I remember when I was in high school, I learned how to sew. Excuse me. I've been eating some of that popcorn, and sometimes it just gets stuck here, there, yonder. And you know what? I made me some fresh popcorn before I sit down here, and I can't eat it right now, but I'll catch it later. Out of that popcorn popper, that is the best popcorn popper. I mean, you can just do popcorn like that, no time flat, and it is good. Enough of that. Anyway, so we was so poor, so I would do what I could do. But one time we had went to over to Grandma's, me and Norman and Phyllis, and they lived about half a mile, and the weather was calm and everything. But as we was coming home, all of a sudden, this thunderstorm, thunder and lightning broke out, pouring down rain. And of course, we had our little coats, and we put them over our head and kept on trucking toward the house because we had an uphill to go, and we was coming through pasture land that is now nothing but pine trees and cedar trees. It was our pasture, but it grew up. It went back to nature. It went back the way God made it to start with when he said, let there be all kinds of stuff. Right? I don't know what all, but he did do that, vegetation. And that thunderstorm just hit suddenly, lightning everywhere. And as we got to the fence, there was a barbed wire fence and a gate. There was a ball lightning Now, I had never seen anything like it, but it was a big ball, bigger than a basketball, maybe twice the size, going up and down the fence, up and down the fence. And I was scared of it, and I said, no, 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 we don't, that might hit us. That's lightning going up. I had read about it, I think, and it's going up and down, up and down. And I knew, what are we going to do? Well, I said, we can't stay in this rain all night. It's still going down so bad. And so when it got way down the other side, because the fence went a long way, the Baird-Rice fence, I said, we're going to run for the gate and we're going to get through it real fast. And that's what we did. And you know, when we got through that gate, that ball lightning just disappeared. It was gone. I said, thank you, Lord. I mean, we didn't know what to do. We got home safely. I just saw my watch. And I just want to let y'all know that my husband, number 3, and my children insisted that I have one of these things. Because if you fall, then an ambulance will come if there's nobody around. But a few months ago, I fell in the kitchen of our other house, Slate Run Road, and I couldn't get up. I tripped over a cat that I couldn't see. It was kind of getting dark, and I was moving fairly fast, and thud! I was on my shoulder, and I thought to myself, I have killed myself. I thought I was stunned, is what it was. I was just stunned. I laid there a little while praying, Lord, if I'm dead, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't get up. So I laid there for about 5 minutes and I was hollering, James, James. He was outside working in the yard. He couldn't hear me. But after a while, I could roll over the other way, get up on my knees. I couldn't get up off my knees. I couldn't stand up. A 90-year-old cannot stand up. So I crawled over to the stove and I pulled the oven lid down. You could use a chair or something, you know, maybe, and get up, and that's what I was going to do. Well, James walked in about that time. He said, what in the world are you doing? I said, I fell and I couldn't get up. It wasn't funny. He said, well, here, I'll help you. Well, he tried to drag me up with my arms. You can't do that. You got to get them right here on your waist. I said, just lift me up. So he lifted me up. And you know what, folks? And I've told this before, I think, on one of my stories that I was telling. I was fine. I never even got sore. The Lord, while I laid there and prayed, the Lord healed that part of it. Of course, I eat butter, drink whole milk, gravy and biscuits. We went out for breakfast this morning to VFW. It was really good. That's so sweet of him. He takes me out to eat a lot, and I don't have to cook sometimes, but I don't mind cooking. I like cooking. But I'm not going to be cooking for y'all. That's too much aggravation. I'd rather sit here with Villa and chit-chat like this, like Pat chit-chat with Grandma Pat. Do like her. She just chit-chats, and that's what I do. But I don't think I'm going to read any books, but I'm thinking about reading another poem from my mom, and I had such a good verse today that I want to share with you all. God is our present. God is our refuge and strength and a very present help in trouble. He's our strength. He's our help when we're in trouble. And man, I needed it that day. I fell over. Well, tripped over that dumb cat. She's a sweet cat. What they do is they will lay down in front of you and start rolling over and show you how adorable they are. And it's cute most of the time, but not in the dark. Thank you, don't do that. I'd be real careful now, I guarantee you. So God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. That's Psalms 44:6-1. I can't hardly see this. In the King James Version. I read the King James. I slept with my King James Bible. I bought, number 1, a Bible when we got married because he said he was going to be a Christian. He went with me about 8 months, and then he was back to drinking his beer and doing things that we don't believe in. I want to tell y'all something else. See, he was from down Tennessee, Appalachia, where they have snake handlers, and they had snake handling churches down there. And him and some of the other teenage boys, you know what they would do? They would go look through the windows and watch those people passing them snakes around over their head. They passed it from one to the other, and they would go watch. They didn't go inside. They were afraid of the snakes. But there are snake handling people down in Tennessee to this day, honestly. But anyway, so I'm Pentecostal, and they call themselves Holiness and Pentecostal. Those snake handling churches do. They believe God can do anything, and he can, but you don't put him to the test or tempt him. We do not tempt the Lord thy God. No, I don't believe in that. But anyway, so when he went to church with me, and he knew it was Pentecostal church, he said, I kept sitting there and waiting for them to bring a box of snakes in. I said, we don't handle snakes. He said, you don't? He said, all the Pentecostal churches that I went to, that we used to go watch in the windows, the Pentecostal church is the ones that handle snakes. And I didn't know if y'all did or not. But he liked me enough to take the chance and come to church with me anyway. But after about 8 months, he dropped out. And then I prayed for him for 18 years. And when he got saved, folks, God did a miracle, because that was a different human being that I was married to. He was a country singer, and he didn't have much personality to sing. You know, when you sing, you're supposed to smile, and he didn't have it. And I mean, he played the guitar, he sung wonderfully well, and we went to Nashville and cut demo records and did all kinds of stuff. But when it come to stage presence, he did not have it. Sad. I have stage presence. I am not shy. He was shy. You can't be a star and be shy. But when he got saved and decided to be an evangelist and was singing gospel music, the Lord empowered him, and that's the truth. He would just sing up a storm, and people loved him. He had the anointing of God, and it was marvelous. I used to say, preach it, baby, when he'd get going good. And we used to get bookings because he was dynamic. And I did all the promo. When I was in California, I went to college for a little while. It was free. So I decided to go to college and learn what maybe I would be good at. And you take all these tests. And I took the test. And I said, well, what would I be good at? They said, well, you would be good as a salesman. Probably anything you wanted to sell, you could probably sell it. So what shall I sell? Well, I sold a lot. I sold toy poodles because I had oodles of poodles. And I had like 10 females, 4 little males. And I raised poodles for about 20 years. Did real good until the Lord told me to get rid of them. I wasn't going to have time for them. I didn't know what he was talking about. You know, the Lord talks to you sometimes if you really listen. And I listened and I did what he said. I kept one. But the rest of them I placed in homes and sold. But I did wedding photography. I had a nursery school, state approved. And I had the cutest little 3- and 4-year-olds. And then when I had Kim, the baby bossy daughter, she had such a mind of her own. She still does, though she's 64 years old. She's a rerun of me, is what she is. She's got guts. And I just love her. But she was a kindergarten dropout. She didn't like the way they were doing things. And you know what? I let her drop out. And then later on, changing the subject. People, you know how I am. Well, when she got older, like 15, 16, I told her, you know, you ought to go to beauty school. She said, okay, that'd be a good deal. You know how long she lasted? 6 weeks. There was my money down the drain. You know what she ended up doing? Grooming dogs just like me, because I groomed dogs, little dogs, for many years, and I was good at it. And I didn't do it until I found out. I bought a poodle, and I didn't know they had to be groomed. So when I found out, and I found out what it cost, guess what I did? I bought me a book and some shears and learned how to do it. And then I run me ads, and I went into the dog grooming business, and I did good. So God always goes before me, and he takes care of me, and he's got me on this YouTube thing now, and I never dreamed that that would happen. And y'all have been so kind. And let's see, Jared King TV, when he told about me, y'all listened, and I just love him. And his wife, Queen Laura TV, they are wonderful. And Spooky Appalachia, they're my friends. And you have done wonderfully well for this little young man. He's got 200 subscribers now that's going to do his games. And he says he's got to get some more games together for these kids that he makes. So things are going well. And Cole is a beautiful, beautiful man of God. He's just 18 years old. But I love him too. And I love all y'all. Thank you for what you're doing. Go with God and walk that path. You'll have sorrow sometimes, but you know what? He gets you through it. And you may really feel bad, but hang in there, because he's there for you. He's there for me. And I love you. God bless you. Walk that path where Jesus Christ would be pleased with you.